Okay, now for this week's episode, in Looking for God in All the Wrong Places, we're going to take a look at uh, Spirits in the Material World by the Police from their 1981 Ghost in the Machine album. Uh, this song is based on the writings of Hungarian author and philosopher Arthur Kessler. Sting enjoyed Kessler's work, and the album Ghost in the Machine is named after one of his books, probably Ghost in the Machine. Kessler believed that outside influences could destroy our spirit and restrict our thinking. The spirits and ghosts Kessler wrote about were the innate higher functions that often get lost in the machine created by governments and corporations. This So let's begin the ghost in the machine. Sorry, let us begin spirits in the material world. It opens up. There is no political solution to our troubled evolution. Have no faith in Constitution. There is no bloody revolution. Now, I'm going to take these four lines together because they're kind of interdependent. They don't really stand alone. Okay? It says there is no political solution to our troubled evolution. Okay? Now, our evolution as a nation, as a country, because our country started off one way with one document, the Constitution, and even then, the Constitution, when it was written to protect rich people. Okay, so let me. Okay, although this song was released in 1981, it could just as well pertain to what we are experiencing right now. Sting is implying that politics alone cannot solve the problems that come with the development of humanity. Okay, he also could be suggesting that putting one's trust in the Constitution is deadly. And why? Because it usually favors or disfavors a majority of the people it is supposed to protect. And the case is the case of our Constitution. Our Constitution was not written to protect all people, even though they said all men are created equal and we the people they're talking about and we're trying to protect were rich white landowners. Okay, that's it. That was not the majority of the country. Okay, that's why the police were formed. Police were formed to protect the property of rich white people in case the poor should ever decide, I'm hungry, I'm gonna steal a chicken from that farm over there. They said, well, we're gonna need police to handle that stuff. They didn't get the police to protect poor people from being trampled on by rich people. You know, get out of my way, poor person, kick, kick. And then the poor person would call the police and say, arrest that rich man. Now, that's not how it worked. It didn't work like that then. It does not work like that now. So, have no faith in Constitution. It also sounds like a command with the absence of a pronoun being deliberately left out. Okay, depending on what pronoun you plug in, it takes on a different meaning. Okay, if you say I have no faith in Constitution, that's different. That means you may have it. It may work for you, but not for me. If you substitute you have no faith in Constitution. That could actually be a command. You have no faith in Constitution. Okay, it's not going to protect you. Okay, it could be they have no faith in Constitution when they have removed themselves from the situation and they're just looking out at the people. So depending on what pronoun you plug in there, it's going to give you a totally different definition. Now, I want you to understand when he says there is no bloody revolution, he is not calling for a bloody revolution. Okay, he's not saying there should be one. There is no bloody revolution, but there should be one. What he's saying is you can take out the word bloody. There is no revolution. Okay, now why does he say bloody? Bloody, remember, he's a Brit. Bloody in Brit is like saying fucking, okay? It's a cuss word. It's short for God blind me, I believe. So no bloody revolution, or it's like saying no fucking revolution. There is no fucking revolution, okay? So he's saying that he's basically saying we're not fighting back. Now, for the first time, the refrain is used. We are spirits in the material world. That's it. But it's such a potent statement that he repeats it 4 times for this refrain. We are spirits in the material world. Okay, now, the word material has a double meaning here. In one sense, it indicates the physical world as opposed to the spiritual realm. Okay, material, skin. Okay, it could also mean materialism, where a high value is placed on money and things at the expense of enlightenment. It said, yes, I could be spending my time becoming a better person, but instead, I'm gonna spend my time being a richer person. Okay, more possessions, more shit, because whoever has the most shit when they die wins, even though they can't take it with them. Second verse, not same as the first. Our so-called leaders speak. With words, they try to jail you. They subjugate the meek, but it's the rhetoric of failure. Okay. Our so-called leaders speak. You can take that in several ways. So-called leaders. First, interpretation, or one interpretation, lacking true leadership. Okay. These so-called leaders, but they're not leaders. They do not have leadership. Okay. They just ride the wave. They just collect paychecks, but they're not truly leading. Okay. The second interpretation is they are public servants and are supposed to follow our wishes. Okay. So they're just so-called leaders, but they're not really leaders. We're looking at them as leaders, but they're not. They're supposed to be followers, and they're supposed to follow their constituents' demands and wishes and needs. A third interpretation is they're not leaders, they're puppets, okay? They're puppets controlled by other rich people, okay? So these so-called leaders, and actually all 3 of these apply to, in some cases, to the same leaders. In other cases, there's 1 or 2 or 3 that apply. But it says they subjugate the meek, but it's the rhetoric of failure. Okay. Before I get to that, it says, with words they try to jail you. Okay. In some cases it's literal, but the word jail is more symbolic of control. Okay. They try to subdue us, because when you're in jail, your freedoms are gone. Okay. So with words they try to jail you. Now, here's the problem with that control and being subdued and diluted. Sometimes words are enough. Just the words are enough to scare people into inaction. Okay. It's kind of like when you're a child and you want to go open the closet door and someone says, you know, a boogeyman lives in that closet. If you open that door, they're going to eat you. And you just believe them. You don't try to figure out, why is there a boogeyman in there at night, but not the daytime? Or why can they open the closet door, but I can't? You don't think about it. You just hear the words and you get scared, and you put yourself in the prison. You jail yourself. And sometimes it says with words they try to jail you. Well, today, I think that word is ice. You could just need to say with ice they try to jail you. Now, it says subjugate the meek. Now, if the meek does not fight back. See, and that's the problem. Most of us are do not realize, okay, that we actually outnumber them. That's why they use the rhetoric of failure. That's why they use the rhetoric to keep us separated. Okay, because if we join together and realize that we're all being fucked, most of us, we might act back. We might respond. Then we might have a revolution. But right now, we do not have that revolution where it's forming. In my mind, the revolution is forming. It's forming. It's forming. Hopefully not too late. So we're going to go the rhetoric of failure, okay? Because, now I'm going to make this very specific. Because Trump has not successfully moved the country forward in the direction that a lot of people, the ones that voted for him to do. Like a lot of people voted him. Okay, forget the immigration stuff for right now. He says on day one, I'm going to lower prices. Day one, we're going to make things cheaper. We're going to lower the price of drugs, and all. We're going to keep us from nation building. Okay, and these people that voted were going, yay! No more nation building. Yay! Prices are going down. Yay! All these other things that most people could benefit from. Instead, he just is what? Bombing boats in the Caribbean, threatening allies like Greenland and Canada and Mexico and Denmark. Okay, threatening to do things that people say, wait a second, whoa, we didn't act, that's nation building, isn't it? Now, Trump said, I'm not going to put soldiers on the ground, and he may not. He may use contractors, which wouldn't be soldiers. And whenever he realizes that he's failing at these things, at failing the country, he throws out more bullshit. I've stopped 8 wars. I've saved 225 million lives by blowing up these boats. I've stopped enough drugs. I've saved 225 million people. Okay, all rhetoric, all lies to cover up his failures. Okay, not ours. Our failure was letting him get in office. His failure is that he is not doing some of the things that he was asked to do when he got there. I'm going to release the Epstein files. What was that? I'm going to release the Epstein files. I'm in them. I'm going to say I want to release the Epstein files. So to distract us, all this other rhetoric. So it's the rhetoric of failure because he's failing, but it's also the rhetoric of failure because they're just outright lies. Okay, he's denigrating and blaming others for shit that he's doing wrong. And it goes right back to the refrain, we are spirits in the material world. Now it says the material world, not a material world, okay? Big difference between the material world and a material world. A material world is very ambiguous, okay? But the material world specific, it's like this world here. We are spirits in this world, okay? Very, very specific language he's using there. Not like Madonna says, I'm a material girl in a material world. A material girl in a material world. Very ambiguous. But here Sting is saying, no, the material world. The third and final verse in this song, where does the answer lie? Living from day to day. If it's something we can't buy, there must be another way. Okay. I'm going to try to take these one at a time. without getting too far ahead of myself. Where does the answer lie? As if there is one answer. Okay, where does the answer lie? Like the one thing that we can do to stop all this shit. Well, why not? Why didn't he say where do the answers lie? Because there's so much shit going on. One thing is not going to solve everything, at least materially. As material people, one answer, there's not one answer. Okay, even if you decided to, let's say, get rid of with a genie, get rid of all of the people that is causing the grief, we still have to fix the things they damage. So it's not just one answer. It's going to be lots of answers. So why is he saying, where does the answer lie? I'll get to that toward the end. I'll bring it right back to that. So struggling, okay, live from day to day, struggling to survive. That's it. We're struggling to survive and struggling to adapt to the various ways that we're being attacked. We're not just being attacked financially and economically. Our very freedoms are being attacked. And each one of these things that attacks us, we have to develop a new way to fight it. Okay, the way you fight economic woes is not the same way as you fight the oppression, and that's not the same way that you fight the bombardment of lies and propaganda. None of those are the same solution. So why is he saying, where does the answer lie? It's I'm going to liken this to our situation, because we're being attacked by so many ways and all at once. It's like trapping a small animal in a corner, and we're the small animal, okay? And they are the people trapping it. When that small animal is first trapped, it gives so many warnings before it fights back. The first sign is the loud noises. It may squeak, it may squawk, it may shake and rattle like a hog, like a gopher snake. It may rattle, it may do something, just rattle but it makes loud noises first. It's a warning. It's like, get back, stop trying to trap me, let me go. And if that doesn't work, then maybe they puff up to make themselves look a bigger threat, even though they're not ready to fight back, but they puff up and they get bigger in mass, okay, like crowds of people. Instead of one or two people yelling, get back, now it's a bunch of people yelling, get back, and they say get bigger and they puff up. The next step is they feint an attack. They pretend they jump towards you like, get back, I don't want to hurt you, okay? It's like throwing water balloons or Subway sandwiches, or just standing in front of their faces going, go home, ice, go home, ice, go home, okay? So we got the loud noises and we're puffing up and we're just yelling back and forth and we're faking attacks. If the people or peoples that are trying to hold that animal back and trap it do not stop, eventually the animal has no choice but to scratch and bite to get out of there. That's the revolution. And that's the bloody revolution that we could have if things do not change. Now, the next line is, if it's something we can't buy, why wouldn't we be able to buy it? There's two things. Okay, first of all, he's saying it's something for sale. The solution is for the possible. He wants to know if there's a solution that we can buy. Can we? Now it says if it's something we can't buy, what are we going to do? So to buy the solution, we could bribe officials, because that's what's happening with Trump. Trump is being bribed. He's made billions of dollars, doing what he's doing and helping out the friends of people like Stephen Miller, who are basically calling the shots. So, but we don't have that kind of money. So we can't buy them. We can't bribe them. We don't have that kind of money. So fuck that. Now, can we not buy it because we can't afford it? Well, we just said we can't afford it. Maybe we can't, or maybe it's just unattainable. We can't buy it because it's not there to buy. So if we cannot buy it, but we need a solution, there must be another way. Okay? The last line, there must be another way. And he's saying if we can't buy a solution, what is the way? If we cannot change things, and things do have to change, then what is going to bring that change? We're going to go right back to the very beginning. The very beginning, the first line of the song. There is no political solution. Okay? Sting believes there is no political solution. But he says, so what is it? Is there something we can't buy? Remember, the song, the whole premise, we are spirits in the material world. So why, are we to look for a spiritual solution, okay? A higher solution. Because he said there's no political solution. That will be something down here. But he keeps reminding us time and time again with the refrain. He must say it like over 20 times. We are spirits in a material world. We are spirits in a material world. He wants to draw him. He could spend more time on lyrics. He only did 3 verses. He says we are spirits in a material world more times than he has lines in the song, than verses. Because that's the important thing. That's what he wants us to pay attention to. It's like there is no political solution. So we have to look for a higher solution. And even if we find a higher solution, can we apply it to make the change? Do we have the wherewithal to use it properly? Does finding a spiritual solution mean abandoning practical solutions? When I was a student at the Theosophical Society, one of the things they used to remind us was, do not be so spiritual that you are of no earthly good. Again, do not be so spiritual that you are of no earthly good. That's it for finding God, looking for God in all the wrong places, and for our analysis of spirits in the material world. I hope that you to go to throw back to our producer. I hope you come back next week for whatever we talk about next.